What is going on, everybody? Pete Simonetti here for NYYU. There is trouble in the Bronx as the New York Yankees are starting to look very, very vulnerable. There's obvious problems that this team has. The good news is it is June 22nd, and the Yankees will have time to make changes. Looking at the standings right here, the Yankees are in a pretty good spot, whether, we feel a certain way about this club right now or not. They are 51-27. They are still holding on to first place over the surging Baltimore Orioles, who got beat up by the Houston Astros yesterday. Again, folks, these things do happen. Believe it or not, it does happen. But there are legitimate concerns with the New York Yankees, and I want to talk about some of those concerns here, and also maybe just give a little bit of optimism to fans out there right now that are on the ledge and sitting back going, this is 2023 all over again, or maybe even 2022 when the Yankees got off to that historic start and then just went crashing down. That is what we hope is not going to happen this year, and you guys already know who I am and what I do and what NYYU is all about. 2022, I took a lot of heat from fans when I came out and said, I don't believe this team's record. I don't believe they're that good. There's too many red flags, not enough to address, and I don't think they're going to be as good as people think. And they sunk. 2023, I didn't believe the Yankees were a first or second place team. I had them in third place, and they ended up not making the playoffs. This year, personally, before I get into everything, I still believe in this team. And I'm going to give you the reasons why, but I'm also going to be honest about the real issues they have and flat out just come out here right now and say it. They have to make the proper changes. They have to make the proper changes. No doubt about it. If the Yankees don't, and if the Yankees don't feel that these changes need to happen, or they can't see what we're all witnessing daily, and they try to make excuses, you could expect the same result. But let's take a look at the Yankees depth chart and we'll go from there. Starting pitching. This has been good for the Yankees. As of late, there's been problems. But we'll talk about it. You got Garrett Cole, Louis Hill, I'm going to talk about him. Carlos Rodon, I'm going to talk about him. Marcus Stroman, I'll talk about him. Nestor Cortez, and, Cody Poteet's hurt. Clark Schmidt, of course, probably not back until August. And it kind of is what it is right now. Talking about Carlos Rodon, I want to go over his last 7 games. He got a 4.54 ERA, 39 innings, 36 hits, 20 earned runs, 35 Ks, 11 walks. None of that looks good, right, for Carlos Rodon. And everybody knows I'm a big fan of Carlos Rodon, and I like a bounce back story, and so far he's had a bounce back. Let's remember one thing really quickly before everybody wants to rip at this guy and figure out a way to say, why, hey, look, I was right, he's not good. Hold on a second here. The guy entered the Boston Red Sox game with an under 3 ERA. He had 2 horrible outings back to back. He's had way more very good outings than very bad outings. Very, very different than last year. I still have hope and belief in Carlos Rodon that he's a much better pitcher than what we've seen the last 2 days. And I expect him to return to form and get back at some point for the Yankees and put up decent numbers. Is he going to be an under 3 ERA guy the rest of the way? No, maybe not, but he doesn't have to be. If he's a mid-3 guy, pitches under a 4 ERA, everybody should be happy with that. If Carlos Rodon ends up getting into the postseason, you look at his ERA, you look up and see 3.7. I think everybody should be happy. I think everybody should be excited that he was able to accomplish that based off last year. And hell, maybe he'll surprise all of us and be even better than that. Louis Hill. Let's talk about Louis Hill. This is a guy everybody, again, knows I'm a major, major fan of, have been since he's been in the minor leagues. And before he even made a start with the New York Yankees, Pete Simonetti was telling folks about Louis Hill. So if you scroll all the way down to his last couple of outings here, He has 3 outings in a row. The one against the Boston Red Sox, 5 innings, 1 run. That was fine. But 3 runs against the Dodgers, and then, of course, the absolute blunder against the Baltimore Orioles. Here's my only issue with Louis Hill. It's what I've been telling you guys since he was announced to enter the rotation. How long is he going to stay a starter? Now, there's a positive to all this. Maybe his next outing, he looks strong again. He said, I feel strong. Here's my take. I think Louis Hill is gassing. That's my take. It looks like his location has been off. The velo's still there, but that's typically injury related, so thankfully it is. Location is really off. His pitches look a little more flat. That changeup against Baltimore was very, very flat. It was very flat. It wasn't the same pitch we're used to seeing, and I believe he's tiring out. The guy he's thrown 100 innings one time collectively in his career, 90, and then he had Tommy John surgery. He was off, and now he's back. Nobody should have ever expected 130, 140 innings from Louis Hill this year. But again, I believe a positive note exists here. Garrett Cole is back. He is supposed to be the ace. The Yankees are paying other veterans to go out there and make their starts. Shouldn't be left on Louis Hill. If he goes to the bullpen, he got the swing and miss stuff that the New York Yankees desperately need. We all know that. Marcus Stroman, he is coming off of his last, 3 outings, I want to say. Yeah, his last 3 outings. Had a very good outing on June 11th against Kansas City, 5 2/3 shutout innings. But prior to that, Minnesota gave up 5 runs in 4 2/3. And then Boston, 5 innings, 4 earned runs. Look, man, Marcus Stroman to me is right there with Carlos Rodon. If they're able to give you innings, bounce back, they don't have to be an under 3 ERA guy. They got to keep the offense in the game. This is going back to what we all said at the Knights at the Round Table video before the season even began. The starting rotation has to give the offense a chance to win games because this offense has work to do. I know that. But I still feel that they're a good offense and they can get there. But looking at the bullpen now, here's a scary thing. Clay Holmes, I didn't even bring him up, but I will. I'll bring Clay Holmes up, and we're going to look at his last 7 games or 15 games. His last 15 games, he's pitching to a 5.93 ERA, 13 2/3 innings, 20 hits, 5 walks. Folks, that's not going to get it done. That is not going to get it done for Clay Holmes. He has to be better than that. He knows it. That's not anybody sitting here saying the guy's a bad reliever. You can't have numbers like that as a closer. And everybody goes through a tough stretch, so you got to hope that's what he's going through. Luke Weaver has been phenomenal. Tommy Kahnle, I got no idea about anymore. Caleb Ferguson, I got no idea about, to be honest with you. Michael Tonkin has been a surprise. The guy I asked the Yankees to call up, they call him up. Yoendrys Gomez looked phenomenal. He was a godsend yesterday. He looked amazing. He looked excellent. He's a major league pitcher. The fact of the matter is that this kid has been in the minor leagues for so long really shocks me. Phil Bickford pitched yesterday. I liked what I saw. I don't know if it's going to be something where Matt Blake kind of works on the pitch sequences with him and what he's throwing more often. He does this a lot. Maybe you get something. He got swing and miss stuff. I can tell you that much. I'm not saying this guy's going to be some find and he's going to go off on this amazing streak with the Yankees, but the stuff is there. Can Matt Blake harness it? Tim Hill, he's over the hill. Let's be real. He's over the hill. Nick Birdie's expected back at some point. Scott Efros finally got into a minor league game. Hopefully the Yankees get him back in a few weeks. And JT Brubaker is another name that are in the system currently that the New York Yankees can get back. But the one thing I will say is that the Yankees always seem to figure out a way in the second half to get their bullpen right and to make it work. And I still feel there's a strong possibility of that because they have a shit ton of options. They got a shit ton of options. We haven't talked about Jake Neely in AAA now. Clayton Beater should be coming back from injury very soon, back in AAA. They got a lot of guys that they're going to be able to turn to, and you got to hope that one of them stick like glue, and they're there. And I talked about Louis Hill already. I think he's going to be a big factor in the Yankees bullpen come August, September, maybe even sooner than that. But There's going to be trade opportunities out there. A lot of arms are going to be available. I'm going to hold off on that because I really want to wrap the video up on that, talking about possible trade situations for the Yankees. Catching. Jose Trevino. A lot of fans now are talking about when it comes to Trevino, well, hey, he's hitting this year. That's a very, very bad argument to make to keep a guy in there that's really never hit before. And again, man, it's not a knock on Trevino. He's a defensive first catcher, and he no longer has an arm. It's not a good mix. Over his last 15 games, he's hitting 195. I'm sorry to tell you guys, but this is more of the Jose Trevino that we all know than the Jose Trevino that's had a 726 OPS up until this point. That number is going to likely be under 700 soon. Let's be real with each other here. So you can't make the excuse that, hey, Trevy's hitting. You can't do that no more because we know it's probably a mirage, folks. I mean, based on trends, can guys get better? Of course, but it's probably a mirage. The more he plays, the more he seems to tire out. We've seen this with him before. Austin Wells, I'm begging the Yankees. The Yankees have, look, I'm not saying anybody's watching. I don't know. I don't give a poop. But a lot of the stuff that we've suggested, they have gone with this year. Austin Wells needs to see more playing time. When Austin Wells needs to be in there more often than not coming up soon. One, his framing has been almost just as good based off the stats as Jose Trevino. He's projected, as we know of a prospect, to have a very good bat. I still see a lot of the promise in the bat of Austin Wells. You got to get him in there more. He has a better arm than Trevino. He got better pop time than Trevino. Is he a better blocker? No. Is he a better overall receiver? Probably not. But is it that much of a downgrade at this point? I don't think so. You got to give him a chance to get constant reps to get that bat going a bit. Does that mean he plays every day? No. But you got to play him at a better clip than the Yankees are playing him right now. That is probably the best solution. A lot of people are talking about my good friend Augustin Ramirez. Give him time. Let Ramirez play in AAA. Who knows? Maybe at some point the Yankees say, we feel this kid is ready. He can hit, and he's a pretty good catcher. Let's give him that opportunity. Maybe. I feel like if somebody got hurt, he's already on the 40-man. He probably is the guy that could get the call. So let him keep doing his thing, and we'll see what happens. Ben Rice is also there. Garrett Cole threw to Ben Rice, and he enjoyed it. He liked it. He said he thought he was a very good receiver. So we'll see what happens. But looking at the Yankees infield, I'm sorry, but the infield is very concerning. The infield is very, very concerning, guys. DJ LeMahieu, here's a guy that I was an advocate for to bring him back when he needed to be re-signed. He was one of the better players in the league at the time, and it just felt like a guy like DJ LeMahieu at least is always going to hit for a solid average. I don't know what happened to DJ LeMahieu. I don't know if the foot stuff has been this bad, but in 62 at-bats this year, he's hitting 194, 292 on base percentage. The man is slugging 194 in, 70-something plate appearance? It's something like that. 70-something plate appearances. He has 0 extra base hits. He is your third baseman on this club. Plays first also, the corner infield spots. If you're not going to hit for power, you got to hit for some sort of average. You have to. You have to. Gleyber Torres hasn't been the Gleyber Torres of the past at all this season. Bad defensively, bad offensively. DJ LeMahieu hasn't been any better offensively. He's been good defensively, but offensively, nothing. Ben Rice is having solid ABs at first base. Keep running him out there. Keep running him out there. Anthony Volpe has been awesome. Anthony Volpe has been awesome. This year, I could sit here and tell you he should win Gold Glove #2. He's been awesome. Awesome. But the Yankees have work to do via trade this year, folks. I talked about all the issues and why it's becoming a problem. The bottom of the order is a mess. You get past Volpe, Soto, Judge. Stanton's been good. Salute to him. Tip of the cap. Verdugo, I'm not overly concerned about. I know he's been slumping as of late. I'm not really concerned about Doogie. I think he'll be okay. But that 6, 7, 8, 9, it's really ugly. And you don't need superstars. That's the thing. People throw out Ryan McMahon. I have videos of Ryan McMahon years ago. He's a great fit for the Yankees. Even more so now. He's going to cost you a ton to get him. Colorado doesn't even know if they need to trade him. They feel like they love him. They're not openly out there going, we're on the market to trade this guy. You'd probably have to knock their socks off, and that probably means Spencer Jones plus. Yankees aren't going to do that. But we know some of the names out there, man. Luis Rengifo, to me, makes a ton of sense. Plays second base, plays third base. Could be a very, very valuable option for the New York Yankees. He's had a solid year. I do think he is actually back now from injury, if I am not wrong. But again, the guy's hitting 311, 360 on base percentage, 785 OPS, 27 years old. You will also have him for next year. There's also possibilities of you go for a Rengifo and you go for a relief pitcher from the Angels. The Yankees got to be creative with minor trades, or not your superstar trades, but this year it's probably going to have to be quantity over quality. Instead of shooting for the superstar, the one big move that everybody gets, oh man, here we go. You probably got to go with pieces that are good players to make this team really be elite the rest of the way. And I believe, telling you guys right now, this is me, Pete Simonetti. I still believe in this club. If you could add a Luis Rengifo, maybe Ben Rice turns it on a little bit. Maybe Wells is getting more of that time. I believe, one, the offense could be a lot better. A lot better. The bullpen, there's a lot of options. I already said those kids got to get a chance. You got to at least trade probably for a lefty and a righty for the bullpen, and that could be a lot better. The starting rotation is being anchored by Gerrit Cole. Look, if Carlos Rodon falls on his face, if Marcus Stroman falls on his face, if Nestor Cortez collapses, there's nothing the team could do to overcome that as it is. So the hope has to be that these guys are fine and they bounce back and they pitch good the rest of the way. They don't got to pitch to the under 3 ERA that they've had the majority of the year. They got to pitch good. If they can do that, this team can have a real chance of winning. I am still a believer in the 2024 New York Yankees. I ask you guys that are watching this video, are you a believer in this team? Do you think Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner are going to say, look, when we traded for Juan Soto, they're going to have our mindset that we have here. When we traded for Juan Soto, you know what that meant? That meant we are going for the chip. We can't stop now. There's glaring needs. We all see it. Let's make the moves we have to make. Forget the big ticket. Forget the big player that's out there. Get quantity. Solid, average, good major league players to round out the faults in this roster and close up the chips in the Yankees' armor and go out there and win. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? I want to hear it from you, baby. Smacky the likey, hitty the subby. Game season live, everything else coming up, folks. You guys already know the deal. Hit that like button, subscribe to the U if you have not, and I will see you guys later. Peace, baby.
Top 10 radar, yeah, we on your radar. Never miss, dog, and that's on occasion. Yeah, we on your radar. Yeah. Hey, look, top floor lifestyle, chef and boy, I'm cooking up. Way too high, ain't coming